Linda, I found the secret passageway. Jane told me where it is, but I didn't see any curse in there.
How could you have missed it? It was right there, just waiting to be found, wanting to be found. I can't believe how foolish I was. That stupid gargoyle. I hated how its evil eyes would stare at me whenever I walked to my room. So I moved it around, changed its position, kept fiddling with it. But when that secret door suddenly opened, I couldn't resist going in there.
Which gargoyle is this?
What do you mean, which gargoyle? I thought you said you found the secret passageway.
So there's more than one. Linda, I think someone's trying to scare you off. I think they thought you were getting too close to something that's hidden in this house.
You're right. I did get too close to something. That witch that was burned at the stake. She's cursed me, and she's probably cursed you too.
I'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
So Linda thinks that Eleanor has cursed her. And there's another secret passageway other than the one we just found.
I'll bet that's the gargoyle Linda was talking about. And it looks just like the one in that painting I saw.
So this gargoyle...
Something tells me I better not mess with this until I know what I'm doing.
You can turn it around, and the painting that Nancy's talking about is at this one. So we can ask Nigel about that. Oh wait, actually, we don't want to ask him about that just yet, because that will trigger something else. First, let's ask Mrs. Drake about the magic word for Lulu.
Yes?
Do you believe that Blackmoor Manor is haunted?
No, of course not. I've lived here for many, many years, and I can tell you without a doubt that absolutely no ghosts walk these halls. An occasional odd creak here and there, yes, but no ghosts. But I do sometimes wonder if those who have passed away remain with us, lingering on. I miss my brother terribly, and I sometimes wonder if he is in some way still here.
Would you have a torch that I could borrow?
No, I'm afraid not. Jane ruined all of ours with some sort of experiment she cooked up. But I believe she may have some of those glow sticks for illumination.
Do you know anything about Lulu's magic word?
Magic word? Oh, yes. You see, my brother and grandfather would play a word game with Lulu. I never understood how it was played, but they'd play for hours. Lulu would sometimes grow sullen and refuse to play the game anymore unless they told her that... Oh, what was it that they'd have to tell her? It's perched on the tip of my tongue. Ah, they had to tell Lulu that she was a very, very clever and beautiful bird.
Goodbye.
The pleasure is all mine, child.
Okay, so we have to tell Lulu that she's a very, very clever and beautiful bird. And she will give us the word we need for bonnet.
Hello!
I know the magic word.
Magic word, magic word! What's the magic word?
Lulu is a very, very clever and beautiful bird.
Clever and beautiful! How true, clever and beautiful!
Easy, Lulu, you're hurting my ears.
So, what's your word?
Barber.
Oh,
Bleach.
Not bonnet, it's barber. Okay.
Bye, bird.
Bye-bye.
Bonnet is one. Bonnet is another word we have to get. So, let's put in leech. And then we'll have to figure out the word for bonnet, I think. Oh, okay. Picture. Okay, so this puzzle is going to give us a lot of words that we have to then put in the next word for. And Lulu knows all the answers, so you have to go back up, talk to Lulu, come back down. Sometimes you have to get Lulu a cake. You have to make her a cake in Jane's room and feed Lulu in order for her to give us the next word. I am not going to go through all that because I know the answers already. They're also they kind of go together. Like this one is book, picture book. I learned what the words are. This one is bonnet. Okay. I knew bonnet was in my brain for some reason. Baby bonnet. So yeah, rather than go up and down and talk to Lulu 1,000 times, I'm just gonna go ahead and solve it. So this one is glass, hourglass, GLASS, and then we need a star there. Ant hill. And then it unlocks. So now we can open this door, go deeper in, and there's a creepy bat vampire thing. Now, this puzzle is 2 parts. So there's part of the puzzle on this side, and then in the other secret passageway, once we get into the other secret passageway, we will have to finish the puzzle on that side.
It looks like the rest of this grid is on the other side of the wall.
So we want all of these to be pointing up, all of the triangles. So now it's complete on this side, and we'll have to wait for the other side. But once we get that open, another door will open and we can go deeper into the secret passageway.
You
gave me
me
such a fright. What were you doing in there?
I was looking at the artifacts. They're quite intriguing.
Oh, I see. Well, I didn't realize you were so interested in the treasures of Blackmoor.
Do you think there is treasure hidden somewhere in the manor?
No, not at all. At least, not the treasure you're probably thinking of. The Penvillans have lived here for centuries. The house resonates with their presence. Any hidden treasure in Blackmoor would be found in the family's history, in the Penvillans' passions and deeds.
What you're teaching Jane looks pretty rigorous, but interesting.
I believe young people need to have a well-rounded education and learn what every other Penvillan should know.
Have you seen the book in Jane's room called the Mutus Liber?
Yes, the silent book. It's quite fascinating and very old. Jane's grandfather left it with me to give to her.
Do you know where it came from?
No, I don't. But he regarded it as an heirloom and insisted that it belonged to Jane, and to Jane only.
Have you ever heard the legend about the Beast of Blackmoor?
Of course, everyone who grows up in these parts knows it. But it's just a myth, one that unfortunately proved to be quite damaging to the Penvillans.
Damaging to the Penvillans?
Well, yes. Eleanor Penvillan was executed because the villagers believed that she had created the beast. Things cannot get much more damaging than that.
Do you know much about the Penvillan family history?
Only that they were a very well-respected and talented family. Many of my ancestors were tutors of some of the Penvillans, and I feel very honored to continue that tradition.
Well, I won't keep you any longer.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Ethel is, I believe, the only character in any of the Nancy Drew games that just pops up out of nowhere. You can't, like, seek her out to ask her questions throughout the game. You have to wait until the game triggers her there. And so, anyway, that's interesting. She's, like, the only character in these games that is like that. Sounds like Linda is crying. Maybe we should give her some space. Okay, so there are a couple different things we could do. We still need to get into this passageway, which we need to talk to Nigel about. First, though, let's look at the Mutus Liber again. It's a very important book. It keeps coming up. So, it is kind of telling a story, and these symbols are the 6 columns. So, like, this is the moon column. these symbols mean, well, I forgot to look at something in our room, but they mean earth, water, fire, and wind. Earth, water, fire, wind. Not in that order. Okay, so these are the columns. So the moon column, and I don't remember the rest of them, but this kind of helps you like put the pipes in the right places. There's a cup puzzle, a wind puzzle, a fire puzzle. So yeah, all of that will come into play later. See if we can talk to Jane.
Hi, Nancy.
Which Penvillain had his portrait painted with a gargoyle?
Don't really know.
I should get going.
Toodles.
Okay. Let's try to get the Easter egg. This is going to be annoying to listen to, but... I think that's 6. 7... 8. Oh, okay, 9. We got it. So there it is. When you get the Easter egg, you can... Oh, so Jane put the telescope back in our room, so that's good. Once you get the Easter egg, you have the option to call... Well, you've always had the option to call this little blank button at the end. When you call it, it connects to...
Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me.
Shorty.
I come from
Yodeling.
Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Hello.
So Shorty from the last game, Secret of Shadow Ranch, is yodeling on the phone, and doing that hopefully will trigger a dream later on in the game that's just like an extra, fun little extra that they put into this game.
John Penvillain.
This is the book that I have forgotten to look at in our room. So this book kind of outlines a story of a frog trying to cross the lake or river, and a fairy helps it cross. This is what I was looking for. So these are what the symbols mean. And it jumps on lily pads to get to the princess. And all 3 lived happily ever after. Written by John Penvillain. Okay. Okay, so what time is it? I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to do in Jane's room. Before we talk to Nigel. Let's just go ahead and talk to Nigel.
Hello, Nancy.
What do you think of Ethel Bosny?
I think she's an odd lot, that one. She has no formal background in pedagogy or scholarship. I would be a much better influence on Jane were I her tutor, but Mrs. Drake insists on employing Ethel.
Who is the man in the Great Hall with a gargoyle?
That's Corbin Penvillain, born in 1670 and died in 1741, I believe. He was Eleanor's grandson and spent his life in France. It was rumored that he secretly returned to Blackmoor to continue his grandmother's experiments in the mystical arts.
Where can I find his coat of arms?
I didn't realize you were so interested in Penvillain history. I'd be happy to show you his coat of arms, but I'm in dire need of a typist. Perhaps, if you can help me out, I can find that which you seek.
It's a deal. What do you want me to do?
Perhaps first we should see how fast you type. This program will rate your speed. Just type the characters that appear on the screen. If you're good enough, I'll let you type up my memoirs, and then I'll let you see the coat of arms.
Okay, so we have to pass his test to make sure we type fast enough. I can't remember the speed we need, but I think it's looks like you need at least 30, maybe 30 words per minute. And capitalization does matter, unfortunately. Maybe it's 35. You need at least 35.
Excellent score. Now, here's what I'd like you to type up. These are my memoirs. I think you'll find them quite interesting.
I was very, very tiny when I
These
was
are the
born.
most boring memoirs I've ever read in my life.
Now I'm about to embark on the voyage of a historian who knows what
Phew,
treasures I will
done.
find.
Finally. I feel like I've been typing forever. Nigel! Nigel!
And now that we're done with the memoirs, he left us a note. Nancy, thanks much for your work. Here's your reward. Attached is a sketch of Corbin's crest that I found in the Chateau de Vertu in France. I've never found a picture of it here in Blackmoor. Okay, so here is the coat of arms that we've been missing. And this will tell us the direction to turn the gargoyle outside of Linda's room. And it is now 3 a.m. So you're basically typing for over 6 hours, which is kind of crazy.
No key without toil, no fire without oil. No key without toil, no fire without oil. No key without toil, no fire without oil. No key without
What are they
toil, no
doing?
fire without oil.
Oh yeah, my actions ensure that my name will endure to the end. Penbelen.
That was a little creepy.
I did it perfect that time, didn't I? Well, almost perfect.
You did very well. But remember, this must remain a secret. Do not discuss it with anyone.
Yes, Ethel.
And don't forget, you have a maths exam tomorrow.
Yes, Ethel.
And be sure to brush your teeth.
Yes, Ethel. Good night.
Creepy ritual.
Smells like oil.
They poured oil down this drain. So yeah, that was creepy. And it's like in the middle of the night. So we can go to sleep. But yeah, I think that's just part of why I love this game so much, is there's so many creepy little scenes and like, I guess scenes that you trigger throughout the game, and it's, you never know what's gonna happen. Like the first time you play this game, you're like, you never know when something weird is gonna happen. It's so fun. Okay, so we will set the alarm for 8 a.m. No creepy dreams or anything that night, because the ritual's creepy enough. Okay, so we have this. We should definitely use it. We've already moved these columns. So we're missing 3 objects for the columns.
Vir, viri, viro, virum, viro.
Vir
like
is Latin for what?
They're learning Latin. Okay, so the directions are twice to the right, once to the left, once to the right, twice to the left, and then once to the right. And now we can find the
Only the
curse.
blameless shall pass here. All others shall transform into beasts. Tooth and nail shall grow long, and hair shall turn coarse, till their aspect be as loathsome as their cold hearts. Prove thy worthiness, and memorialize here the innocent one so wrongly condemned for saving lives. else consider thyself right and truly cursed.
Yikes. So this puzzle is to put in the name of the one who was, what was it? The innocent one so wrongly condemned for saving lives. So who in Penvillin history was wrongly condemned? Eleanor. So you're supposed to put in Eleanor's name. But these are runes, so we're going to have to look at Jane's sheet of paper with all the runes on it and figure out which rune is Eleanor's name. Or which string of runes. Okay, so now we've seen the curse. I think it's a great time to give Miss Paliki Vedas a call. She is the one who wrote the chapter on werewolves.
This is Paliki.
Hi, my name is Nancy Drew. Could I ask you some questions about lycanthropy?
I'm sorry, I'm about to leave for a seminar and I'm very busy. Besides, I've written 2 books and 12 articles on the subject. If you have questions, perhaps you should try reading one of them.
I did. That's how I got your number.
Well, if you didn't understand something, I'm afraid I really don't have time to explain it to you.
I understood everything. It's just that I know someone who seems to be exhibiting some of the symptoms of lycanthropic
Lycanthropic metamorphosis? Well, that's different. Talk to me.
What do you consider to be the definitive signs that someone is turning into some kind of animal?
Symptoms are relatively subtle. A dry mouth, fatigue, impaired vision, and reduced blood flow to the skin. Is this person pale?
I can't say. She won't let anyone see her. She just lies in bed all day behind this curtain.
And at night, what does she do at night?
I can't be sure, but I do know that I saw something outside the night I arrived. Some kind of animal. And when I asked to see my friend, I was told she was unavailable.
This sounds very promising.
You don't really believe she's turning into some kind of creature, do you?
Young lady, I believe the human mind is capable of far more than we can ever imagine. Pale skin, dry mouth, fatigue. The human mind is perfectly capable of causing the body to exhibit such symptoms, if it is so motivated.
What would motivate someone to turn into an animal?
Most lycanthropes are under a great deal of stress, due perhaps to the death of a loved one, marriage, divorce, a relocation, that sort of thing. They're emotionally vulnerable, which means they're particularly open to the power of suggestion.
Linda just got married to Hugh.
Someone suggests they become a lycanthrope?
Not in so many words, of course. Somehow they get it in their head that they're destined to take another form. They see something, they read something, someone says something to them. Somehow they come to believe they're supposed to undergo a physical metamorphosis, and so, in their weakened psychological state, they do.
Do you think seeing an ancient curse would be enough to send someone, over the lycanthropic edge?
Absolutely. Of course, a person cannot morph into XYZ if that person has no idea what XYZ is. She has to have some prior knowledge of the creature she thinks she has been condemned to become. A book, a website, a movie, a play, a casual anecdote, any number of things could provide her subconscious brain with clues as to how she is to look, feel, and behave in her altered form.
Are temper tantrums symptomatic of lycanthropy?
There are no hard and fast rules when it comes to lycanthropy, or almost anything else for that matter. But if someone believes that what they're changing into is irrational, or has a bad temper, then they will exhibit irrational, ill-tempered behavior. Especially if this is contrary to their former nature.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Okay, so now we're to believe that Linda thinks she should be turning into a beast, and so she is. I don't think we can talk.
Linda?
Oh, never mind.
Tell me again how you opened up that secret passageway.
Not on your life. I've already said too much.
Is there anything I can get for you?
A well full of nice cold water sounds good. My mouth is so dry and I always seem to be thirsty. And I get so hungry. You should go.
Why?
I said go. Now! Get out! Do you hear me? Get out!
Creepy, 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 creepy. Okay. Okay, so now let's so really what we need to do is get into Jane's room to look at the rune paper, but again, she's in lessons until 2. So in the meantime, we can solve some more puzzles. So telescope, we put that thing, that piece on the telescope, and then we can look at the painting in Nancy's room through this lens, and there are these symbols with numbers. So 1 is a sad face mask, 2 is a parrot, 3 is a harp, or I don't think that's the right word, but it's some kind of string instrument. 4 is a flute, and 5 is a happy face mask. So now we can play the card machine. Betty.
Very good. And now the plural?
Query.
So this game...
It stopped working.
Which stopped working?
I need something to wind it up.
So we need to wind up the game. Let's talk to Mrs. Drake about that.
Yes?
I think Ethel is trying to recruit Jane into some kind of secret society.
Oh, for heaven's sake, child! Where did you ever get such nonsense?
I saw Ethel and Jane performing this ritual in the Great Hall in the middle of the night.
Poppycock! A ritual in the middle of the night? Young lady, I will not abide such wild stories. Imagine Ethel Bossany recruiting my grandniece into some kind of secret society. Next thing you'll be saying Linda has been cursed by some roving spirit, or that we have ghosts prowling about.
I'd like to play the card machine in the Great Hall, but it's broken.
It's not broken. I removed its crank, as it was proving to be too much of a distraction for Jane. I suppose I could see where it's gone to. But in the meantime, be a dear and do something for me, would you?
Sure.
Do you see that hodgepodge of plants over there? They're my prize seedlings. I had them perfectly arranged in that box, so I could easily move them about to catch the light. Unfortunately, Jane took all of them out when I wasn't looking. And now, for the life of me, I cannot get them back in the box, so that they all fit. Why don't you give it a try while I see about that crank? If we both succeed, we shall both be happy, if you catch my meaning. Remember, they must all fit in that box!
Okay, so it's a classic puzzle in these games where you're just trying to fit things together. I'm not very good at these types of puzzles, actually, but it's just kind of trial and error. You can also turn them by right-clicking, so okay, I don't know what to do. Maybe this one here? Not go there. Yes. That doesn't go there. Oh yeah, that's better. Let's try this. This one's kind of big. Yeah, okay, so... we should do this one next. Oh, yeah, here we go.
There.
Okay, so we did that. Already looked at that. Since Mrs. Drake is gone, let's snoop. There's
Yikes! Maybe
a
I should
letter.
try feeding it something.
There's a letter underneath this carnivorous plant. We can try to feed it something and then look at the letter. Which, to do that, we have to, they're still having their lesson, we have to order food.
Boar's Head, this is Tommy.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. I'd like to order some food.
Sure, we've got some loop-de-loop bangers and mash, Pinky and Perky and a dog's eye, and they're all
Order the
Robin Hood.
Pinky and Perky.
I'd like some Pinky and Perky, please.
Good choice. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder?
Okay.
All right then, we'll come round and leave it at your Rory. Baked potato.